your husband, you lost your 2 sons in the space of 10 years. Whew. I felt so passionate about that. Never ever say that about Ruth. Nobody should ever say that about Ruth. Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. This is the Becoming a Woman TV, and if you are yet to subscribe, I hope you consider subscribing to this channel, because this is a channel where we talk all things women. We keep it real here. We talk all things women. We talk anything, fashion, beauty, skincare, whatever, you know. We talk real life, real life issues from the Christian perspective as well. So thank you so much for watching. And obviously, if you don't know already, we are preparing for Becoming a Woman conference. This is the 2nd edition, and it's going to be virtual, online, and it's themed A Woman Like Me. And the Bible reference is taken from the book of Ruth, chapter 1, and that's from 16 to 17. And you know, that verse is, those 2 verses are verses that a lot of people, I haven't recently seen it, but I know back in the days, those are the references that people put in their wedding vows or something like that. Is that your people will be my people? And you know, I was looking at it because I had my book here where I think sometime last year or the year before, I was studying the book of Ruth, and I made a few notes in this book. And you know, something just led me to actually go through this book last night. And then and then I thought to myself that, I wonder why I actually used that Bible reference as a reference, you know. Anyway, something came to me saying, this is your topic for your next video, so I am going to talk about that passage. There's something very revealing. It's just very interesting. The story of Ruth is very, very interesting. It's only 4 chapters in that book. There's so much you can learn from it. I remember when I was studying the book, at a point, I think it was 2019 or 2018, I can't remember now, where it was 2019, and I was asked to preach, to do like a little short exhortation at my church. And then the Spirit led me to use this verse, the story of Ruth. And at the point I was like, what has the story of Ruth got to do with Christmas, you know? And then as soon as I kept reading, I realized that yes, Ruth is actually, whether the great, it's kind of linked to the birth, is linked to Jesus. She is linked to Jesus, because she, you know, gave birth to, is it Jesse? She gave birth to Jesse, sorry. She gave birth to Jesse. Not Jesse, Obed. She gave birth to Obed, who is the father of Jesse. And Jesse is the father of David. And if you know the story of Jesus, the lineage of Jesus, he came from the lineage of David. So yes, Ruth actually plays a very important role in the birth of Jesus and salvation. And wow, who knew that? I never thought of that, you know. And yes, so Ruth is a very important person. And then the story I really wanted to, which is linked to the conference, is the fact that is the relationship between Ruth and Naomi. And it's very interesting. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'll probably take the story chapter by chapter. It's only 4 chapters, so there's not a lot to, you know, talk about. There is a lot, but it's not so much, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to reference my notes. So if you see me looking down, this is the notes I've made a year ago. Over a year ago now, and it's just very relevant, you know. If you look at the story, let's just go back to the story of Naomi. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I don't want to make it too long. So if we don't finish this chapter, we will carry on in the next video. Now, what do we know about Naomi? Naomi is an Israelite, I believe. She's a Jewish, and Naomi is an Israelite. And when she when there was like a famine in the land of Israel at the time, that time they had no judge. It was only judges that were ruling the country at the time. So there was famine. So her husband moved. Is it Elimelech? Her husband. They all moved to Moab. Now the story of Naomi is quite sad. When you look at it, it's very, very sad, because obviously they moved, and within 10 years, she lost all. It's very emotional when you look at it, actually, because she lost her husband, she lost both her 2 sons. So she's like, I've got nothing. She's literally had nothing left. She left her home country full, and then she came to a foreign country and she lost everything. Now this can be very relatable to a lot of people that are probably watching this right now. You know, you've gone from a moment of where you had so much, and then suddenly you've literally, I mean, as a woman myself, I'm thinking, wow, you lost your husband, you lost your 2 sons in the space of 10 years. Okay, I'm just taking a moment to just imagine, I don't know, it's a very sad situation for Naomi. But and then luckily, obviously, our 2 sons had wives who, there was, and one of them was Ruth, and then there's the other one, I think her name, I think it was Oprah. I think that's the name Oprah came from. I don't know, but Oprah, yeah, it was her name. So they were both married. So luckily, and what I realized from the story of Naomi is that she's a good woman, because for her daughter-in-law, even after the death of her son, to still remain with her, that means she must have been a wonderful, good, virtuous woman. Even after the death of their husband, and they still remain with the mother-in-law. I don't know, maybe it's part of the culture, probably not. I mean, there's nothing else tying. Even it came to a stage where Naomi said, okay, you girls, you need to go back to your family, go back to your home, because I ain't got nothing here for you anymore. Your husbands are there, which are my 2 sons. I ain't got nothing, so go. Even if I was to give you another husband, will you wait for how many years? Am I even able to do that first? And then will you be able to wait for them to grow? And that's what she said. And then she told them, you need to go. So, because then she decided she was going to go back to Israel, go back to her homeland. And why she did that, who knows? Now, let me just say, yeah. So, let's remember that these girls, so she said she's going to go back, and then these girls decided to want to follow her. And remember, they are Moabites, they are not Israelites, so they are foreigners, and they want to go back to a place where, they were ready in the first instance to leave their own family, people that they know, people they are familiar with, to go back to a woman, to a country where they don't know nobody, and they're not familiar probably with the culture or whatever. So they were ready to go there. So for them to want to do that, it is a very good representation of who Naomi is. It was. And they followed her, no question asked. And then she kept, and then there's another thing I wrote, that they cried openly. So it was a very, very emotional moment for all of them. That means it shows the relationship Naomi had with her daughter-in-laws. Like, it shows how wonderful she was as a woman, and the relationship she had with her daughter-in-laws, because she was going to leave, and they were so emotional. They cried. For some, in other cases, or some cases, you will be like, okay, bye. But it was a very emotional moment for all of them. So it shows a relationship there. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out there. And then obviously Oprah was saying, Naomi kept saying, okay, you've come with me this far. They got to a stage, you've come with me this far. You can go now. Please go. I don't want you to take you away from your family. You have family here. I don't have nothing here. So you still have something here. So stay with your family. They're gonna miss you. She did all of that. And then obviously, eventually, if you're familiar with the Bible verse, if you're familiar with the story, eventually Oprah decided to go back, even though, yes, she's still crying, but she left, she left. But Ruth said, Ruth said, no, I'm not going with you. No, I am going with you. And let me just quote what she said. Where you go, I go. Where you live, I'll live. Your God is my God. Your people, my people. Where you die, I'll die. Where you're buried, that's where I'll be buried. And she even said, not even death itself is going to come between us. Now, that is just like, wow. That is a relationship between a woman and a woman. This is not even a matter of a man, because like I said before earlier, it's something usually that we quote, or I don't know, of lately probably not, but back then I knew that was something that people normally put in their vows and stuff like that. And you think, when you hear something like this, you would think it's probably between a man and a woman, but this is between a woman and a woman, another woman. And that was what struck to me, like, wow, for that kind of relationship. And this is not even a woman of your age or whatever. This is a woman that is older than you. That's your mother-in-law. Wow, that's just amazing. This is an amazing relationship here that I don't know whether it's Ruth that is just so loyal, and that's what people always say. There's a saying they always say, which I grew to know about Ruth. They always say, I don't know if I can say it, but it's called abokoku. So it means like you die with your husband, kind of a thing. And I used to, when people say that, they used to use it in a very negative way, like, oh, you must, like, you just, like, you live, I don't even have to say it. It's kind of very demoralizing. That's the way I find it. And I've come to understand, and in that way, growing up, I used to think to myself that I don't want to be like Ruth. I don't want to be Abokoku. I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to live my life, And, but when I really got to study this verse, I realized that no, there's nothing about Ruth that is that demoralizing, that people should not, I don't know if people still do it, but people should not ever, I felt so passionate about that, never ever say that about Ruth. Nobody should ever say that about Ruth. That is a woman that is loyal. And people say it in such a way that is so demoralizing, and it really, when I really got to understand this verse, it really upsets me, and I felt so angry. Like, how dare you say that about Ruth? I don't know her, but I'm like, you can never say that about Ruth. Ruth, this is a loyal woman right here, which is very hard to find. I'm even praying to God for the grace. Don't you, like, if anyone ever say that to you, if anything at all, Ruth right here is a role model that every one of us should emulate. Like, what the, like, oh my God. So yeah, and no one should ever, in fact, name your children Ruth. See, this woman chose the life she wants to live, and she stuck by it. She was not influenced by her family, but she didn't say, oh, I want to, she chose her life. And that's the thing, she chose the life she wants, and she lives it, and she stuck by the life she wants. I know Naomi may have made a big influence to her, but look, she was ready to leave her own family. She was ready to leave her own comfort to go somewhere else where she doesn't know anybody. That's brave. That is brave. Honestly, I think that is brave. She was ready to leave everything behind to go to a place where she don't know. She don't know nobody except for her mother-in-law. Another thing I wanted to point out from that chapter, this is chapter 1. Naomi said, I think her name, from what I've read, is Naomi means sweetness in a way. And then when she got home to go back to her country, I feel sorry for Naomi. I feel so sorry for Naomi, because imagine going back. And I think that alone also takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of strength and courage to say, you know what, I'm going to go back to a place whereby people knew me as being this fool. I mean, I don't know whether they were rich, but she had a husband, she had her children, so at least, but she came back and she had nothing else except for her daughter-in-law. Little did she know. Little ddid she know. That is the thing, God had a plan. But she said, don't call me Naomi, call me Mara, call me bitter. Like, oh no, that's, it felt, in that, because she's saying that from how she felt, and I felt sorry for her at that point in time. I felt sorry for Naomi, but little did she know. She said, "Oh, don't call me. I've got nothing left except for this." A version, I think the Message version said, "Except for this foreigner." I was like, "Don't you dare call Ruth a foreigner? Don't you?" Okay, yeah, she is a foreigner, but put some respect on that name, okay? Put some respect on that name. But yeah, I mean, some version called it the foreigner, some called it this Moabite, or and I'm like, oh, but little did she know. And this is a lesson for many of us here, that you think you don't have nothing, but little did you know that you have a lot, more than you could ever imagine. Now, your story may not be what you want. You've lost so many things, you've lost a lot, you feel empty, you feel bitter, that your life is not sweet anymore. But little did you know. It's just like the story of the widow and her son, which she only had like a pot of, is it the Shunammite woman, where she only had a little. She only had a little left. She only wants to eat this little that they've got left and die. So at that point in time, she had nothing. She only had that little, and that was the end of it. But little did she know that when the prophet came into the house, she was about to have plenty. And so also in the case of Naomi, little did she know that person whom she called a foreigner, or whom they called a foreigner, that person whom they called a Moabite, was more than enough. So do not cancel yourself out. You may think you have nothing left, but do not cancel yourself out. Don't lose hope. that little that you have, you think, which you think is nothing, is probably all that you need. It's probably all that you need to get to your next level. I'm not saying it. The thing is that God had a plan. God had a plan. We can never understand it. Sometimes you don't understand the ways of God. But when you think, there's something that I've always learned. I've learned growing up that, you see, no matter how bad it gets for you, there's always one that's going to be left with you. And I've looked at it, and it's always true. You know, no matter, even if you feel like nothing, there's no one there for you, there's always one person. Whether it's a person or God, there's always one. As long as you stick with God, there will always be something. And sometimes we overlook that one thing. We think it's nothing. See, no matter how bad it gets for you, there's always something left. There's always something left. So I want to use this opportunity I just encourage someone out there who is feeling hopeless, feeling that you've lost everything, feeling like you don't know where to start from. And I watch a lot of reels. If there's nothing else, reels and things, you hear of people's stories. People share the stories on Instagram about how they've gone from nothing to where, and it encourages me. I'm like, if they can go from here to there, what about me? My situation is probably not as bad as them. So if they can do this, so can I, So that's an encouragement for any one of us, that you may think you've lost everything, but you haven't. You may think, oh, the only thing you have is just this tiny thing or this irrelevant thing. Don't cancel that thing out. It may be the one thing that you need to get to where you're going to. For you, maybe your talent. I watched the story of, I think it was a reel I watched as well, where someone lost everything, she lost her job and whatever, and then she resorted back to she likes to do art, she likes to paint and things like that, and she resorted into doing that. And before you knew it, she's now training people. She's now, she has her own studio and all those things. And you think, see, at the point in her life, she felt like she had nothing. But look at her now. So that one thing, it may be your talent, your hidden talent. So find it, use it. No, I believe that in this day and age, you don't have any excuse. I'm sorry, you don't. There's so much in that utter dispensation in this age that we have here, that you can reach the world just by sitting in your home. You can touch the lives of people just by sitting in your home. So what is your excuse? That's what I'm going to say. I'm talking to myself as well. Please don't think I'm just being, you. I'm talking to me too, okay? I'm talking to me too. I am encouraging myself right here. So this is my message for you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned one thing or the other. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. We are diversifying. Okay, there's going to be more interesting content. I hope you catch the last one. I was showing you my current, favorite things that I do. I'll be sharing more of that as well as we go along. And I'm thinking of doing a vlog as well, here and there, if we can. We'll see how it goes. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. And share this video, because someone might learn from this. Actually, this is probably what someone needs right now. So please share this video, share it with them, let them learn from this, and let this be the push, the encouragement that they need, and they will thank you for it. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day, or whatever it is you're doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.